Let's remember that Allah does not live in a mosque or God does not live in a church, but in the holy heaven above. Mosques and churches are places of worship for the believers of such faiths. A temple, on the other hand, is a devalaya, home of the god, a place where God resides. Life is invoked into the deity by way of pran pratishtha, after which God, who is considered a living being, eats, sleeps, and lives in that temple. Indian law preserves the character of the deity as a living person upon consecration, which is pran pratishtha, and the deity derives legal character with rights under constitution. Next, we need to understand that no two Hindu temples are the same as no two homes are. Therefore, the requirements from devotees of each temple are different. And as per the universal understanding, your house, your rules. Now, a little background to Sabrimala. Again, we need to look at it through a non-Abrahamic lens. Broadly, there are two types of temples, Vedic and Tantric temples. Sabrimala is a Tantric temple. Tantric temples work with specific energies for specific wish fulfillment. Here, arduous and rigorous physical practice or vrata along with abstinence, regulations, etc. is required. These temples are not ones for darshan or to gaze upon the Lord. Lord Ayappa, the deity of Sabrimala, is the son of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, two male deities. According to Skanda Puran, goddess Durga took birth in the masculine form as Lord Ayappa and is said to be the effulgent light born out of the merciful splendor of Narayan and the serene knowledge of Shiva. So all the narrative of archaic, misogynistic Hindu traditions falls flat on his face right here. Even today, I'm not aware of any other religion where a child of male gods or male energies is so revered. Lord Ayappa took the vow of Naishtika Brahmacharya or eternal Brahmacharya and the life of a yogi, which means he will be celibate in a student form in all of eternity. Mallikapura Thamma wanted to marry Lord Ayappa. Lord Ayappa refused due to his celibacy vow, but upon insistence assured Mallikapura Thamma that he will marry her the day no visitor comes to him. He asked her to reside in his temple in Sabrimala, which is known as the Mallikapura Thamma temple, and as a mark of respect for her, Lord does not see any woman of childbearing age. Women devotees in the childbearing age don't visit this particular temple of the Lord so as to respect his brahmachari vow and as a mark of solidarity for Mallikapura Thamma. So this sweet act of respect for the wishes of the Lord is the misogyny angle of this case. The male devotees of Lord Ayappa are also called Ayappa because the devotee takes on a pledge to align with Lord's energies and transform himself into the Lord. The holy pilgrimage consists of a rigorous 41-day vrata where all worldly pleasures are forsaken to merge with the Lord. The devotee begins to lead the austere life of an ascetic, shunning all social activities and immersed in the worship and contemplation of Lord Ayappa. He consumes sattvic food, avoids meat, alcohol, and practices celibacy. He makes an effort to control his thoughts, words, and deeds and raise his consciousness. When the devotee is ready, his trek to Sabrimala temple begins. The devotees wear black, do not shave, walk barefoot, and apply ash on their body. Only after this vrat can a devotee mount the steps of the temple. What is the Sabrimala controversy then? Why this remote temple in Kerala the target of dispute? Well, because it attracts one of the largest number of pilgrims, 100 million every year. Therefore, it ranks high in the religion conversion predators target and has been under constant attack.